Hey guys,
we can see you.
Oh,
You're not that cool yet.
I had to do the
Green
CGI
suit.
later. I'll add it in later. I'll do
Ghost.
it for the thumbnail. Guys, you can see me, but in The Invisible Man, you couldn't see him in The Invisible. That was one of the worst intros I've ever done on this show.
You tried.
Yeah, it was good.
You tried.
The Invisible Man, directed by Leigh Whannell, and starring Elizabeth Moss. Produced by, quite interestingly, Blumhouse Productions, which usually does horrors and slashers and thrillers.
Go shit, best one.
Did their own take on the Invisible Man storyline. And I'll tell you right away, it's getting positive buzz. Some people are saying, it's pretty good. The problem for me, though, was that we saw this trailer a ton before seeing this film, and we hated every second of the trailer because it ruins the entire film. So I have a unique perspective going into the film where a lot of it is already ruined, and I know what scenes are coming, what to look for. Just naming it, simply naming it, The Invisible Man, takes away so much awesome urgency, surprise, intrigue from this film. If they would have instead called this film Invisible or something, right?
Gaslighting the movie, like, cause
whatever. Yeah, one of that. You can do that.
The man, you could sometimes.
The man.
See.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, Joe, because that's too much.
Damn
letting
it.
them know. No, just invisible, because you could play with the fact that maybe she's seeing things. That's how the trailer played it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is he really dead? Is it in her head? Or is he some kind of superhero where he's got a suit that allows him, or just a skin that allows him to disappear? Well, the trailer already told you that, so that's not a fucking spoiler. He's a guy who can go invisible, okay?
He's only invisible when no one's watching.
yeah.
It's a suit, a tech guy who's really good and uses little cameras and mirrors and shit. Now, that's not to say that the film was bad, because I actually, in the end, did like the film. My opinions are a little mixed. There are many horror tropes that are like, come on, just pick up the gun. Yeah. Or, oh my God, are you serious? Is that what's, I will talk about those in spoilers.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. So hopefully, if you can, with that
I will
yours.
stop. I will remember what I can, and I will not say
Okay, so, but ultimately, I did like it. I checked my time. Usually when you look at your phone, that's a bad sign. And it was because the first initial hour, well, it didn't start at 7. There was a bunch of previews. I'd say the initial 30 to 40 minutes were pretty slow, pretty boring. The opening is great. It really gives you the tension of she's really in a relationship with this guy who is controlling every aspect of her life, and she's doing like a dun 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 dun, to get out of the house. She's got everything set up, and then when she escapes and her friend comes and picks her up, it's scary because you feel her manicness to get the hell out of there, and that was great. But then it sort of drags until about an hour in. So the act 1 was a little weak, but ultimately I liked the film. What did you guys think?
Going into it, I honestly thought that it was gonna suck. Are you gonna get it?
Oh no, you gotta fly! Don't try to kill
off.
Don't kill it on
Get it off.
on
It's
there.
invisible me.
You're gonna go to jail, Joe. Someone's
Well,
gonna
I thought
report
it was gonna suck, but I was surprised. I honestly did enjoy it a lot.
you. Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss did a great job. I loved her acting. Usually I don't like her, but she did a great job.
Yeah.
She's very convincing. It's like, oh, she's going fucking crazy.
Yeah.
She's going off the wall.
You could see it in the makeup.
She did a great job.
Crying, just manic, just
Yeah, you could
going
see
through
it.
a range of emotions. Great actress. Now, what are you saying? What else is she from that you like? I don't really
Handmaid's
like her.
Tale. She was in Us. She was
Yeah.
hilarious in Us, but
Oh,
it was
right,
like a
right.
bit
She's
role.
like
That's
in
not.
Mad
Yeah.
Men and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
different
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Okay.
that. But I believed her paranoia and just like it was pretty tense. I did like it because like she was paranoid, like years of abuse from this guy, and then she still believes he's out to get them. You could just see her emotions in her face. I thought it was a great.
Great
film.
acting. Okay.
Yeah, it was the relationship the horrible abusive relationship was totally believable. You get that she is an abused girlfriend. You get that she's desperate to get away from him, and that there's this lasting trauma that stays with her. The problem is, and you touched on this already, we knew what was going to happen. The thing is, there is an opportunity with the amazing actress that you have here and her ability to convey that she could be paranoid, but we know she's not paranoid because you showed us in the fucking trailer that she's not paranoid. You showed us the rig.
It up.
You ruined it for me, and I expected to not like this movie a lot because they showed us the whole movie in the trailer.
You
right?
were really mad.
I was.
I was upset too
because I like the story. There's so much you could do with it.
There's so much you want to like. Especially, here's the best way to go into this film, and I'm so jealous of you guys if you managed to do this. Go in without watching the trailer and
like
barely even
impossible
listening
now.
to the title, right?
Yeah.
Man, this is like a fucking 9 if you going into that situation.
Yeah, but it could. But the problem is you don't have that. It's, it's kind of hard because it's like when someone says, "Oh, that movie's great. It's got a huge twist in it," or they set this expectation, or they tell you what's going to happen, and any tension that could have been there isn't. It can't build because you're like. You don't know that the unknown isn't there because we do know what the next scene is, and we do know what the next act looks like, and we do know how it's going to end
because of the
ultimately.
But if you haven't seen this trailer, do you think people would enjoy it?
Yeah,
more?
like I said, I was expecting to not like this movie, and I'm not hot on this movie, but in my opinion, it is a good movie to go see. But I almost want to know what my score would be had we not watched the trailer. Because they're probably losing like a couple points.
Now, we are plugged into movies, guys. We see more than 100 every year. But in your instance, if that's not you and you haven't seen the trailer, don't watch it and go to the film. Because I think you'll really enjoy it. And to play into Alex's point, what made that initial 30 to 40 minutes boring for me personally is the very slow pan shots or holding the shot on an empty room. And here's the thing. I know what's going to happen because he's invisible.
Maybe
like,
he wasn't there. You don't know.
It's not. I know like the thing is going to move. This is going to move. It's not. I'm like, hurry the fuck up. Get to the point. Reveal yourself so that we can get this thing going. And we can start firing on all cylinders. And that's why it was a little slow for me initially. But eventually, this thing puts it into high fucking gear. In fact, it's got one scene, I think in about the third act, maybe even the second act. This film is a little longer. It feels a little longer because as it was nearing what I would feel is normally the end at about an hour and 30 minutes, I was like, this would not be satisfying. Are they going to squeeze it all in there? But no, it goes for another 20, 25 minutes, and it's almost like this little prologue, and I really enjoyed that part. But there's a shocking scene that you're like, oh, shit has hit the fan, and all rules are out the window. And I really like that. Though the film does put too much tropes in.
Yeah.
Okay. There's guns on the floor. She's staring at guns. In the trailer, you've seen, these cops get beat up and shit. And so that does happen. But the first cop that gets beat up falls right in front of her. There's a gun there the whole fucking time. This cop gets beat up. That cop's getting beat up.
She's in shock.
That cop gets beat up. And this cop gets beat up. And then she's like, okay, he's behind you. Okay, and now she's guiding the last cop. Okay, now what you need to do.
I felt like we were watching an episode of fucking Dora. Behind you. He's behind you. Where is he?
Turn 3/4 degree, then hit, and I'm like, and then once that cop goes down, then she picks up the gun and runs after him.
It's worse. It's worse than that though.
It's like what
because
part?
there's like 17 cops there. There's not that many. There's like 10, right? They're all what's right here on the shoulder. Every single one of them. You know how they showed up? Hey, by the way, there's this guy that we can't see who just he shot that guy in the leg.
Well,
there's a floating gun.
Well, I would excuse a little more because this is if I saw that, Alex, like I'm not gonna be like, I'd be like, what? How do I fight? And I would look around, like, how am I going to interact with this thing instead of calling for backup? But you're right. There's cameras everywhere in this hospital, and there are other people, at the security desk, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
It's a jail. It's not even a hospital, right?
Oh,
it's a
mental.
I think it is.
But there's cops there because it's you're there because you kill people.
Down just in case.
So there's a lot of those moments that you're very, very frustrated with, but if you can get over those small moments, there are other juicy nuggets of surprise that the film will surprise you. Yes, you've seen the trailer. Yes, it will ruin your experience a little bit. You're like, yes, get on with it. And some of the tension is sucked out if you've seen the trailer. But it does offer something. In its last hour, I was fully entertained. So, what else? We talked about and I liked the characters. That's another thing. I liked the relationship. James, who's this officer, who is her sister's.
Emily or Emma?
It's her sister's boyfriend, but here's another problem with the film. I never felt like her sister's boyfriend and him were like a couple.
Are they actually a couple?
Yes, I think so.
I think they're just friends.
Or maybe they're just friends.
I think they were just friends.
But they don't act like friends at all.
Yeah, it is. But that relationship is slightly weird because her sister disappears. Her sister is an integral part of her life, and she's helping her get away from this abusive relationship. But then her sister disappears.
Well,
now they do have an explanation a little later on, but that's not it, and we'll talk about that in spoilers. It's just like the film forgets about her sister for a little while.
Well, that's good because I hated every scene with the sister in it. She was beyond walking trope in a horror movie. You know, you get in a car, someone just escapes somewhere, and she's like, "Let's go." No, I'm going to stop here. She's like, let's go now. And he's like, all right, I'm going to. And then later on, like that whole email, like, well, I don't want we'll get into spoilers. Everything about the sister is terrible.
Okay. So we've got that, but we do like the relationship. We do like the cop, the daughter. You're pulling for the characters.
Yeah.
You're pulling for Elizabeth Moss's character, and she was great.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, this film is titled The Invisible Man, so there is a certain amount of suspension of disbelief that you have to give the film. I
didn't have a problem with that, though, at all.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that in spoilers. So let's just go directly to the final verdicts. Who wants to go first?
Final verdict for me is going to be a 7. I really enjoyed the film.
Okay.
The trailer did kind of fuck it up for me. But I did like how it played to Elizabeth Moss. Like her strength was being an amazing actress. The isolation that the Invisible Man was doing to her and just making her go crazy.
Yeah,
that was top notch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't like certain aspects. It was kind of slow, very tropey, and that screeching noise. I don't know what it was.
Oh, the electronics?
I guess so. It was driving me crazy.
Yeah, I don't think
like,
that the person who did the
There's
sound
like more
was
like
good.
I think that was more for like a jump scare.
Oh, yeah, jump scares. Yeah, there was
you didn't
screeching
need
during
that.
jump scares.
Foghorns and weird loud noises.
Yeah.
Okay, 7 out of 10. Alex?
I'm going to go with a 6. Elizabeth,
Slightly above average.
slightly above average. It could be an even more enjoyable film, maybe if it wasn't ruined for you. So you may like it more than I did.
Yeah.
I think that it is so jam-packed with unbelievable, and they're little things, right? But there's so many of them that it's harder and harder to overlook. It's like, oh, okay, well that's convenient. Oh, okay, that doesn't make any sense, and they start to wear on you. That when an insignificant one happens, you're just like, come on.
Let's try to get them all for you in the spoiler section. So my final verdict, I'm gonna go into Joe's territory. It's a 7 out of 10 if you have seen the trailer. It is an 8 out of 10, potentially even a 9 if you are just going to the theater one day, you have no idea what this film is, not the title or the trailer. It is amazing. That is a huge missed opportunity. They could have marketed this film better as Invisible, right? And play up the fact that you have no idea where it's going. This film goes off the rails in a good way in its last hour, but this would have been an astronomical off the rails if we didn't know jack shit about it, right? And I lament that fact very much so. Anyways, guys, it is one that I do think that you will have fun at the theaters with, so go check it out. And, we'll see you in the spoilers section. Thank you so much for watching. Click the links below. It's like the last week to get the Mandalorian poster, guys. So check that out. It's not going to be available past this week. Thank you so much for watching. Join us in the spoilers section where we will point out every stupid moment that we can remember.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section. So let's try to go through these one at a time. But I do want to call out some specific ones. I already did it in the main review where once they Okay, here's the shocking moment that I was talking about is this guy is fucking with her. You know, he has an obsession with her, and he enters the house that she's hiding out at. And, you know, plays around with, you know, turning on the gas stove and doing small things and ripping the blankets off. Then he gets serious out of nowhere as the little girl is basically consoling her and say, don't worry about it. You know, let's forget about all this craziness that's you've been kind of spiraling out of control. Let's just eat some cake and have fun. And boom, all of a sudden she gets knocked the fuck out. That took me by surprise. I was like, oh, fuck, now he's getting violent. And then later on in the film, when she's going through a lot and she knows it's him and she's visiting his house and she's like, what? Okay, he's got a suit. She walks in there. There's this technology suit. And so she grabs the suit. I'm like, put the fucking suit on. You know the suit is there. Put the suit on. Then she goes in the closet and then she hears maybe some footsteps like he's back in the house. Put the fucking suit on, right? But he doesn't. She didn't ever put the suit back on. Then she runs out of the house. But then later she meets with her sister, and she's like, "Okay, there's proof." And then her sister's like, "What? Okay, tell me. Okay, fine. You said that you don't want to talk to me anymore." He's like, "No, he sent that email, not me. Listen to me." And then her sister's like, "What the fuck?" And she looks, and there's a knife floating right by her sister's head, and the knife goes, whoa, and then he gently puts the knife in her hand.
She caught it,
yes,
or something.
I don't know why
There's
she
no
did that.
way she can. Those reflexes.
But I was like, whoa, this film went really fucking awesome. Like, oh, my God. And then everybody's like, oh, what did you just do? And they think that she killed her sister. And that's when the film, from that point on, the film is real engaging. It's interesting. She's being dragged off to the mental hospital. She's fighting and kicking. They put her in there, and he follows her in, and he's just, laughing about, but you don't hear him laughing. But he's there, soaking it all in. And then finally she comes up with an idea. I'm going to, she learns that she's pregnant. I saw that coming from a mile away.
They told you an hour earlier that she was pregnant, but without kind of telling you. Again, this movie can't help but spoil its own fun surprises.
Everything.
Every opportunity they have to do something really cool, they're like, psst. In an hour, she'll be pregnant.
So
it's like, oh, cool, thanks, movie.
In the shower, she grabs a pen from the lawyer. There's a brother character of this genius, and you don't know whether he knows whether he's his brother is doing this or his brother's really dead. He's like, I've seen his ashes, and here's pictures of his dead body. Well, she stabs herself because she doesn't want to live with the baby, and she doesn't care about the money because he leaves her money and shit. Stabs herself, but then he grabs her, and she's like, "There you are." She was waiting
a ploy,
right? But then she stabs him like 7 fucking times in the suit, and initially the suit starts to malfunction.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that it's a very delicate suit with the cameras. And then I went back in my head and I said, the first big reveal, shocking reveal, which I wanted to talk about this in the review, but I forgot. The CGI is kind of well done because when she's like fighting with nobody, it looks realistic. And I was like, I just wanted to commend that. But in this fight, the first fight when she's fighting with nobody in the house that she's hiding in, she is slamming him with plates, pots, every fucking thing that she can do.
She kicks him.
And the suit never malfunctions.
The paint gets thrown on it, everything.
But a few little pen stabs and the suit malfunctions.
Yeah, I think the scene directly after that, he goes through a hallway. There's this gauntlet where the cops conveniently show up 2 at a time.
Daredevil scene.
And he is a dude, right? He's not a fighter. He's a tech genius, and he beats people's ass like he is Daredevil. And
he throws that table in that house when he's fighting her too, like he's a Hulk.
Yeah, so he's crazy strong. He knows martial arts. He's like throwing people across the room. He picks her up with one arm. She is not she's small, but that's a lot of weight to because he's holding the knife, and he's also just like holding her up. Yeah.
And
so it's an exoskeleton suit or something stupid.
But they never explained that in the film. That would have been nice. So you got those things. The gun drops in that scene. She could have picked up the gun while he's fighting with all these cops, and the moment he takes off, bap, 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 she's done. But eventually she does get to do that. The first time she walks out of the mental institution. There is a few cops. That are, hey, and they've got guns in there. And she's like, yeah, stay back.
45 people just got shot in a hallway,
Right.
and all the people at the front desk are like, "Yeah, did you see Survivor
the
last
door
night?"
swing open.
And
Like,
not
fuck?
only that, Alex, but then they stay in that building for another 15 minutes so that they can have the scene in the rain where she's looking at the car, shooting at a random window. And then, she finds him in the back of a car. And he's there. He's hiding because of the rain. And he's using the open back of the trunk is open. Just punch him, shoot him. But no, she waits for the big reveal. And he's there and grabs him.
Well, there's also no infrared cameras at all in this whole universe. It doesn't work that way.
But I did like, I noticed how he didn't really want to kill anybody. I did like that small little detail. He's actually just, doing his best to disable them and not like murder them in an insane way. Eventually he does, Joe. But he's doing his best to like not kill people. And I thought that one small character detail, holding himself back in some of these.
But I don't like that at all because it completely defies that. Now by doing that, everyone knows that a man in an invisible suit exists.
Really good point.
Yeah.
So, like, his whole point is that's what I wanted the movie to be is, like, you don't know if this chick is crazy. Mm-hmm. You don't know if she's been through so much.
He wasn't a killer, and so he's not going to do that unless he has to. But he's probably so cocky that, But here we go. We're making up things for the movie to make it work. So there's a few cops that see it, and none of the cops is like, there's an big guy. He's invisible. Yeah. No, they're all rely on her to say, he's here. He's right.
There's a floating handgun.
So nobody's gonna fucking listen to her.
Oh no, he did kill those guys on the ground. He shoots the guy in the knee, and then as he's walking away, he turns around and kills the guy.
One guy.
He didn't. I don't think he actually kills him. I think he just fires off the gun because he had an opportunity to shoot him in the head. He doesn't. I agree. He walks past him, and then he just kind of shoots the ground. I don't think he actually kills that guy because he didn't kill any of the other ones. Now eventually he does because you're getting him more and more pissed off. It's spiraling out of control. But at this point, it is revealed that this is not Adrian is his name, right? Or something. Andrew, Adrian.
We don't know that yet.
Well,
but it is revealed later on that this particular person who is fighting all these cops and shit is not the main guy.
That was
his
Adrian.
brother. It's the lawyer.
No, that was Adrian.
No.
In the hospital, it was Adrian.
No, because he immediately grabs a car, he drives home to attack the little girl, and then he gets shot from attacking the little girl. That's the lawyer's brother the whole time.
We don't see the car show up to the house. We only know that there's an invisible guy there.
Here's the thing.
He talks to her in the hospital, and it's his voice. He's like,
that's right.
I'm gonna kill this little girl that you know, and surprise.
At some point, no, you're right because
she's chasing the car down.
Right, and we're like, wait a minute, how can he get there that fast?
Yes,
that was another moment, but then that one was the reveal that's the brother. I was confused. You're right. So anyway, he finally, in the epic climactic battle, he goes to her house because he says, I'm going to go and kill, the little girl that you care about. But apparently he calls his brother on the phone.
Yeah, because his suit was fine, but Adrian's suit was fucked up.
Correct. That was another thing. You're like, wait a minute, how's this suit not
There's 3 suits.
Okay, because he just got into a battle. But he goes in there stealthily, 100%. And the little girl, has seen Elizabeth Moss' character freak out, so she uses the pepper spray. It hits him. I don't know how it hurts him because it's all full fucking suit. But anyway,
convenience.
So he's gonna beat her up. Father comes home, gets his ass beat, and this is another really cool CGI shot where he's just beating the fuck out of him, holding him by the tie, and it all looks
so defenseless. It's like, where the fuck is he?
Yeah.
But here's what you do. Like, I could fight an invisible person. If they're that fucking close to you, you fucking tackle them and you do not let go. You do like an MMA on the ground motherfucking Krav Maga. People who know Krav Maga will destroy this invisible man. People that
because he's a tech millionaire. He's not a Krav Maga guy.
Exactly.
He's supposed to be a normal dude. But
exactly. Well, no, that guy is a lawyer.
That's
so
even worse.
He doesn't know what he's doing. So, anyways, the cop is getting beat up, and then at the last minute, when it seems like maybe he's about to beat the fuck out of him or kill him, she shows up with the fire extinguisher.
Well, he stops for some reason. He just lets him go. I don't know why.
Again, maybe he doesn't want to kill. It's the lawyer guy here, right? And so he fires the fire extinguisher, and then she starts shooting. I'm like, thank you. I mean, I was
thank God you finally.
I was like, continue.
Yeah, I was
3 shots.
Oh yeah, they did the thing. They're like,
keep fucking shooting.
To be fair, I think it was more like 6.
Fucking shooting.
I think it was like 6. To be fair, Joe. And I would, but I agree. I would have kept shooting.
Click. Okay.
Yeah.
And he started hitting him with the
Yes, because
it could have been bulletproof. You don't know. But
bulletproof
she
cameras.
started to see some of the blood, and then he falls over. She reveals him. It's his brother, not him. And she's like, "It's not over." And then the cop is like, "No, look. In order to get out of your murder charge and all this, you have to shut up." No, that doesn't make any sense, because if all this shit happened and then he's asking her to shut up and not make a fuss, she's like, "No, it is him. How did the lawyer get this fucking suit and create the suit? It's Adrian. Adrian is the one with the mind that created." But they don't want to listen. It's like,
yeah, it's tropey in that sense. I mean, in the story, Adrian pretends to kidnap himself and acts like his brother was actually the mastermind, which, you know, is probably not the case. And so all of the law enforcement people go, "Oh, no, he's innocent. It was the brother who was doing the manipulation." But they never explained, how is there three
ties
suits?
him up in the house. He probably just built them in the thing. So anyway, so they go in.
I think like in the intro, whenever she's leaving, I think you see three dummies.
Three dummies?
Observant.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, very observant. Okay, so she goes in. She says, you know, at some point it's revealed that all this shit is real, and the brother Adrian wants her back because he realizes she has the baby, and she's like, if you come back, the lawyer is meeting her while she's in big fucking trouble at this point in the mental hospital. It's like, come back to him, and everything will be fine.
We'll make this
and I'm like, this is dumb as fuck, because if she could go back and then betray him, you know. But anyway, so she eventually goes back and betrays him. So she shows up all dressed nice with red lipstick. She's like, look at me, you know, I'm gonna seduce him, or I'm gonna act like I'm you know, getting back with him. And there's a sub-story line where the cop follows her, and he's got her wired up so she could try to get him to admit that he's the one that did it, but he's too clever for her. No, and he comes over real close to her, more like real close to the mic or her, because he says he knows everything. And he's like, you know, and he tells her in a code that it was him. Because throughout the film, you know, he's been like, surprise, it was on the text. He said it in person. And then later on, as he's talking to her, she's like, you know, surprise. And then she's like, that's it. So she's crying. She comes up with an excuse to cry. She's like, I want to go clean myself up. She goes to the bathroom. Then she realizes, I hid a suit in his closet. So she goes and gets the suit. She comes out, has him kill himself on camera so everybody can see it.
How is there a chef's knife?
Because she wanted steak.
You don't have a chef's knife for steak.
Good. Okay.
Of
course,
there's constantly floating chef's knives.
Of course, the chef points out that there shouldn't be a huge knife.
There's
on
like
the
a
table.
9-inch chef's knife that's just like floating in the air, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm having a." If the steak was already cut, by the way, it was already cut on their plate. They didn't even need fucking knives, and all of a sudden, this dude has a knife in his hand for no reason. He's just like, "Oh, cool."
Could have used a small little butter knife, but eventually
that would have hurt more. Use a spoon.
Good. So he kills himself. Oh, supposedly she kills him, but it looks like he killed himself. And then she's leaving. She's got a little bag with the suit in, and she's like, "I'm gonna be in the Invisible Woman."
Yeah.
And then the cop comes running up, and he's like, "What did you do?" She's like, "He killed himself. It's on the cameras." And he's like, "Well, he did attack my daughter." So he's like, "Yeah,
beat the shit out of me."
So he's like, "Yeah, that kind of looks like he killed himself." But this guy he's a cop. And he doesn't look like a cop at this point. I'm like, you better get the fuck out of there, because, you know, you're African American. You've got a hoodie and a burglar outfit, it looks like. And, you know, if they thought she killed her own sister just being with her near a knife, this guy next to a dead rich guy, the cops are going to come in there fucking shooting. But no, that's not what happens. She just sort of smiles. Not really smile, but it's more like a sigh of final relief where she is done with this domestic.
She goes off camera and just like laughs at him, or not laughs, just smiles.
But she's content, and she knows that she never has to deal with him again because she slit his throat. And we don't see him doing a lot of the mean things and the bad things and abusive things to him, but it is implied that he is a piece of shit and he deserved it. And of course, he did like fucking terrorize people and attack the little girl. So fuck him, he's dead.
Yeah.
And I thought they were gonna leave it open. when I meant that epilogue, I thought they were going to leave it open where it's like, oh, he blamed his brother and he's still out there and he can come back and set up a sequel. But no, they have that kind of extra little 20-minute act where she goes to his house and she takes revenge.
That's the best part of the whole movie, in my opinion. I think without that last 15 minutes of the movie, I would have said that this is probably below average because it has to finish strong because it was so slow in the beginning that if it didn't end up somewhere good, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah,
and so for me it was.
It makes her character go through an arc.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise she was just a victim the whole time. And then then at that point she's like, I'm fucking sick of this. I'm gonna kill him.
Yep.
That's the only option here at this point. Yeah. Okay. And we can think of any other things that.
Do you want to talk about all the ridiculous, convenient trope bullshit?
Yeah,
like in the first 2 minutes of the movie, she's sneaking out of the house and she just kicks this loud metal bowl that apparently she doesn't live there, doesn't know where the dog's bowl. Her dog's bowl. Then she tries to leave without taking her dog with you, which you would never do.
No.
I would do what I would make a fucking pulley system for my dog and climb over that damn wall. Yeah. And then
that means she's not a dog person. Fuck her.
Yeah, fuck her, not a dog person. She's trying to undo the dog's shock collar because the guy's an asshole. Yes. Also, he put a shock collar on the dog, deserved to die.
Yeah, he did deserve to die.
And then so when she's pulling the thing off, and then she booty bumps the car, so the alarm goes off, and it's just there's so many of these little convenient things.
And then she drops her medication. Right.
This isn't 2 minutes, by the way. It is so many little things that happen in 2 minutes that you just get tired of them. Had there been only one of them, I'll allow it, right? You kick the dog bowl, understandable. You hit the car, but you kick the dog bowl, then you hit the car, and then the dog, the dog shows up and you drop the pills.
So he knows where to find you.
And it's like, come on. And then the sister opens up the car, and your sister who's like, I just escaped a compound. I just jumped over a wall through the woods. And then your sister gets in the car, and you're like, what's going on? And she's like, drive. You would get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
You would get out of there.
Drive.
Good point, Joe. It was 4 in the morning. Okay. And then here's another thing. Her at a point in the film, he's fucking with her, so he goes on her laptop while she's not home and sends an email to her fucking sister, basically, who, by the way, her sister is the one that helps her, right? Yeah. She knows she's in an abusive relationship with this guy who's a tyrant, and she saves her, and then she's like, don't come around for a little bit because he'll try to follow you. Yeah. But then she's the one that tells her he's dead. He died. He committed suicide. He killed himself. And now they're happy because it's like it's a relief and she's trying to rebuild her life. But she disappears from the film, which makes no sense. Mm-hmm. And then later on it's explained and then she says, well, how dare you come to my house? Why are you here? And it's like, she's like, what are you talking about?
You sent me an email this morning.
You sent me an email this morning, though, right? But they should have said, you sent me an email a long time ago that said to stay away. But anyways, this
Do you have a sister? You have a sister, right?
Hold on, I'm getting to that point. It's like you would fucking know how your sister speaks.
Well, immediately, if I sent a nasty email to my sister, she would call me and go, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Not, I'm going to wait and not talk to you for weeks. Are you kidding me?
Don't come over. What the fuck did I do?
Yeah. No.
That's a really good point.
No one who worked on this film has a sister.
That's her sister. And then the second point to that is you're reading this very long form email.
My dearest sister person. I no longer wish to speak to you.
And you can tell it's the fucking guy who is controlling her fucking life and trying to, because it's like one moment your sister loves you, the next moment you're like, never want to see you ever again.
It's right there. And Adrian
is
the best lover ever.
Yeah,
he probably had sex with like millions of women.
And he's
the
muscles.
best. I was like, wait, what?
So we were like, oh my God, seriously, and so it, makes her sister estranged. But, there are moments like that, but then there are great moments in the film. So it's a little uneven experience, but entertaining overall. So it does this. It does this as it goes up. It does this. Now there are some moments that in the trailer that didn't show up, and in promotional materials, there's a hand when she's showering that's not in there, and then also she's like, he's sitting right there.
I was waiting for that
chair, but that's not in the trailer, or that's not in the film, but in the trailer. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, how much of it was cut, and
Well, she also showers with the shower door open, her bedroom door open, and the bathroom door open in a house that's not hers, which was real weird. There's a lot of little things.
Terrible guest.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
All right, guys. But ultimately, we liked it. But
Yes.
we like pointing these things out and discussing them with you. If you saw or know any that we missed, put it in the comments. But go see this one. I think it's interesting. And I'm curious whether Blumhouse is going to use this as a franchise to then, tie in Wolfman. The boyfriend character turns into Wolfman.
Well, this is the same person that did what was not Venom, but the other one, Upgrade. So it's the same person from Upgrade, right? So they really like the whole technology based sci-fi horror type movies. And so this guy's proven that he can do some stuff. He just needs to work with the people who do his trailers, because they did you dirty. You're not watching this, but if you are,
you're right. He did Upgrade,
and so if
I like it even more now.
Yeah, so we all kind of liked Upgrade,
Yeah,
we liked it.
I liked it.
Same.
I think Upgrade was probably better than Venom.
Oh yeah, we all
It was
agree.
the better
on that.
Venom.
We agree on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Venom was also good too. All right, guys, thank you so. Except for the terrible CGI battle.
Except for Venom.
No, I like Venom. It's just see you guys on the next Angry Joe show. Click the links below. Grab yourself a poster if you still want one of those. And if not, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next Angry Joe show. Bye,
Bye guys.